Welcome to Finance Series with Oyekemi Ajayi. It is a great pleasure to connect with you. We're going to be talking about the unspoken realities of work. You know, there are certain things that are not said, but said in the workplace that actually shape the way people grow, the way they show up, and the way they even show up in their professional lives. We're going to be talking about real life issues in the workplace, how to address them, how to navigate your growth in the workplace. So if you're a young professional, whether in the finance space, whatever industry you find yourself, these are experiences that you will typically face. Politics in the organization, even though in some organization it is not pronounced, but these are things that you need to pass through as you grow. You can't escape it. So we're going to be talking about these real life issues and how to navigate them. I have professionals in the house who have passed through a lot in their career. They have almost 2 decades of experience and they've seen a lot working with the older generation to the young generation, and they've been able to navigate this and are occupying leadership positions in their organization. We're going to be hearing their story. We're going to be having heartfelt conversations that would help us to also navigate our path in our career. I have with me Simi in the house, and I have Adaobi as well. We're going to be, so it's very nice to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. We've been on this for a very long time. So this means a lot to me. I'm really happy that we are able to connect and bring this to you. So follow us as we go into this round of podcasts. It's going to be very amazing, and stay tuned to the end. Thank you. A lot has been said, but I want us to touch on perception and performance in the workplace. Let's start with the other.
Okay, so I know a lot of people are all for performance, right? Performance is literally the KPI by which you're measured in. Perception is about who knows what you are doing, which is AKA visibility, right? We're all conversant with teams where you have one person that is always talking. The person is always the one saying, oh, I did this. Yes, I remember how this is done. And it feels like that is the loudest voice being heard. As you grow in your career, both of them are equal. Both of them. So I don't mean equal. You need both of them to be able to succeed. You need both of them to come into promotions, because people feel, I can't touch on both without addressing the issue of promotion, because when this becomes an issue at the point where, oh, I should be given a higher pay, or I should be promoted, then we start to look at performance and perception, right? People think promotion is a reward for work done. No, promotion is actually an investment in what I know you can do for me at the next level. It's an investment. So what that means is, I see you and I know you're a worthy investment to put on that seat, because if I empower you by putting you on that seat, you will do much more for the organization than where you currently are. So what that means is, your work in the past would have given me a track record of your performance. But I should also have known you beyond just your work technicality, that I can trust your judgment to be able to say, I can vouch and veto for this person as the person that we should give this promotion. So when you look at it as another perspective, is people look at promotion from the, oh, I've spent 10 years here, on that basis I should be promoted. Hell no. Hell no. In the 10 years you've worked here, what have you done differently? What have you brought to the organization? What have you championed? What value have you added beyond just ensuring that, oh, I was given this target, I met this target, I collected my salary? The workplace keeps on improving. We're not static. Things are changing. The world is changing. You know things that even your bosses don't know. What is stopping you from bringing it to the table as an opportunity for us to be a part of? Oh, it wasn't on your JD, so they're not paying you for that? Which is a slogan people say, oh, it wasn't on my JD, so you don't expect me to bring it up. It's not everything that will be on your JD. Hello? That's why you are a growing adult who is pursuing a career. As a growing adult who is pursuing a career, you're trying to present yourself as that person that after 20 years, you should be worthy for a directorial role. You should be worthy, except for you, it's just all about working, getting your pay, and then retiring at the time when you feel. If you are not there to pursue a proper career, then your way of doing things would be different, then I wouldn't question that. But if you are really, especially when you start to dabble for promotion, then it means that you're interested in growing in your career. If you're not interested in growing in your career, then you're not, why pursue a promotion? Why pursue a salary raise, right? So for me, I would say, and this is one of the things I have had to learn the hard way, because I've always been that person, my work will speak for itself. But I realize in the workplace, subtle politics, semi-politics, full-blown politics, there is a form of politics that goes on in organization. Politics is when they choose someone over you, right? What made them choose that person over you? What is the deciding factor? You have got to come to the workplace realizing that 80% performance, but yet 20% visibility. Be known, be seen. Let them know you for something. Let them know that this is the person that if we were to go green. So let us say, because let's be honest, boards change. So they nominate a new CEO, a new chairman. A time and season will come where somebody speaking your language will be on the seat. If your language is not being heard, they will not consider you as that person to work with them in the cabinet. So people should know you that when the CEO that speaks the language that you are speaking comes, the HR should recommend you to say, this is the man to work with. Why? Because we know this is his area. So you've stayed, you've sustained, you've fought the battle wherein you are not neglected. There's an organization where I worked in, and as much as there was a growth plan, HRs will tell you there's a growth plan. If you, as the person who they've handed that growth plan, doesn't sit down to say, beyond this growth plan they have written for me, what else do I need to do much more than what has been given to me? What will happen is you'll be doing the bare minimum. During your appraisal, which is where performance comes in, you will get a good appraisal. But if you work in organizations where the last question is, what exceptional thing did you deliver? You will always get a 0 for that question. And too many zeros in that question, they will begin to look at you as you are not worthy to be a team lead. You're not worthy to be a departmental head. So you will always be amongst the floor members, never taking the leadership position. If you aspire for the leadership position, I would say to you, it's good that performance is excellent, but can you also look at perception? How do they perceive you? Yes, we're not saying play the politics where they know you as that person who will collect bribe, who will try and, win their way, but let people know you when you're presenting, when you take on a job. How do you go the extra mile? I will use myself as an example. I came into a workplace because I have over 15 years of work experience before I started building my business. And my first 2 months on the job, I remember the HR telling me, you should start looking for another job. I wasn't even given the benefit of doubt to actually show myself. But they were coming from the point of view that they've had 2 ladies in that department who didn't perform before me, aka my predecessors. So there's a whole lot of things that is coloring how people see you. So you actually need to break out of that glass ceiling. Be knowledgeable of your predecessors on the seat. What did they do that might be coloring the perspective of how people view you? And try and ensure that glass ceiling is broken. Then, as for you work in an organization where there's bias of men to women. Be knowledgeable of it and know how to intelligently present yourself without coming in as someone who is trying to surpass powers with the men. So here I am in an organization where my 2 predecessors were women, did shabbily, and to them, no woman can lead the department. So because the department has 0 revenue. So they didn't see that I could build. But one of my greatest strengths was technology. And this was a department where they were trying to bring a product that was not in Nigeria into the Nigerian market. So AKA help the Nigerian market understand how this product will work for them. That's my domain. So I sat down. I looked at the product, broke it down, looked at different technology. I even went as far as knowing how to code a wireframe. So that when I sit in front of the clients, it was a commercial department, but I had to begin to wear two hats, commercial and technical. I sat with the technical team, guys who go to field. I went to field. I understood what it meant for them to capture the data from field, how they run the data through screening, how they now look at it and create the performance report. I knew all of that. So I wasn't pitching from the commercial perspective of, based on what your product is saying, the statistics versus your competitor, I think you should do this. An additional knowledge that I realized that their customers were FMCG. I was coming from FMCG where I was selling machines. So I brought my past experience of understanding how the factory works. What is the cost of setting up a factory, especially a machine? I understood CapEx and OpEx. And so when I presented to my clients, it was different. Something my boss had never had. That first and foremost won me to my boss. I became his handbag. Whenever we're going to top clients, we say, I want Ada to follow us. Ada seems to understand their language of CapEx and OpEx. He didn't understand it. He didn't know how to calculate it. I know how to calculate it. I was not in finance department. So that kind of won me over to him without me even trying to buy him any gift or anything. All because I knew my strength and I knew the weakness of my boss. So I understood that managing upline was a skill I needed to. So I knew his strengths. I knew his weakness. I knew his pain points, and I was able to solve his pain point. So at every meeting, he would take me. Did they still come for me to say, oh, after we had started generating revenue, they wanted a man to lead the department because that's what is happening. Other departments are led by men. Yes, they came to me. They approached me, and I said, okay, why don't you give us a fair trial? Me versus this man you want us to lead, right? Let both of us tough it out for 1 year, and you can make a decision. Fair deal. It was like, oh, that's a fair deal. And in all honesty, I won the bets because, come on, I had loyalties of clients. He didn't have any clients. And they were going to evaluate us based on revenue, project delivered, aka all of that. I just went to all of my clients and said, please, I need you to sign a retainership with us.
Wow.
And I brought in the highest gross for that year. So at the end of I won fair and clean without having to do anything extra. But in all of this, I was seen.
Work.
I was heard.
Yeah.
Performance was excellent, but people knew me. I remember even getting a call from the director for EMA, right? And he said, I've never seen a lady. See, within the 1 year of toughing it out with this guy, my colleague went to report me to Global. That I just want position. I don't have anything. Global even still called. And I said, I understand where my colleague is coming from. I didn't have to go head on. I said, he doesn't sit in my shoes. So I could understand his perceptive and it's forgiving. But let me walk you through what I do, the structures I have. After that meeting, the guy from South Africa reached out to me and said, you are very unpredictable. As a woman, I've never worked with a woman who has no sentiment. I expected you to break down at this meeting and,
be emotional.
I'm like, no, why should I be emotional? Emotional doesn't get me what. I'm here to get promoted. I'm here to become a director one day. So I better get my head squared, all right. And that kept me there. Am I still in that organization today? No. Did I move to a different organization at a better pay? Yes. Did I get the recommendation from my boss? Yes, I did. And the less
there's something you said that I really like, because a lot of people will feel, oh, I have a strength that my superior does not have. And if my superior does not, showcase me, let me go and show myself. But I like the way you were able to compliment, or would I say support in that area, even when, there were other things on the table. So that's very